And they're different now. The vibe is different. The whole mood and shift will now go on to George, Charlotte and Louis. And they will become...
Okay, so guess what happened at that fancy Dorian TV thing in 2025? Prince Harry didn't even get his royal title on the nominee list, not Prince, not Duke, just Harry Windsor. And that tiny thing started so much drama. He looked super annoyed in front of all the press and TV people, and everyone's now talking about how he got totally ignored, and honestly, it was kinda awkward and messy. And wow, what a moment.
They're gonna be really so far removed from the main game, they're not going to be able to get as much money out of being royals.
I think Valentine Lowe wrote that in his book, didn't he? Or I seem to remember Val writing about.
So Harry showed up, looking all tense, and then finds out they're calling him just Harry Windsor, producer, on screen, and he did not take it well. He stared at the paper, said something low-key, and ignored a producer. And yeah, it totally felt personal to him, they were erasing who he really is, and the vibe got real awkward, real fast.
But he undoubtedly will. He'll be a bald 50-year-old prince, a gentleman, someone formerly known as Prince. That's what he will be. And that will be not the same as they talk about, he's got an appeal with a younger generation.
So Harry saw the name thing and was like, that's not my name, and asked them to fix it before the show. But they told him, nope, it was final. And that's when things got heated. He started raising his voice, saying his title is part of his real name, and leaving it out was super rude. But the award folks were like, sorry, that's our rule. We don't use titles for anyone, not even doctors or princes, just your work name. And some people there were kinda like, okay, Harry, calm down.
It's also trying to kind of make things a bit more positive. I've spoken to some journalists in America who were saying how we love a kind of boy or girl done good. And the fact that for Harry and Meghan for a very long time,
So this whole thing turned into a total mess. It was Hollywood saying we care about work, not titles. And Harry kinda showing he still cares about being called a prince, and people were like, wait, didn't he leave all that royal stuff behind to live a normal life? And now he's losing it over a missing title. It really made folks wonder what he actually wants, and if he's really over the whole prince thing or not.
Well, there's a lot of this, and let's not be too cynical. Yes, he wants a reconciliation with his father. His father has a finite time on this earth. There's a lot of money to be distributed, and I'm sure that's a conversation that needs to be had.
So the more you look at it, the more it feels like Harry never really let go of the prince thing. He says he wants to be normal and do his own thing in California, but still shows up everywhere as Prince Harry, books, podcasts, shows, speeches, all of it still wrapped in royal vibes. And this whole drama just added to the pattern, he left palace. But he's still kinda wearing the crown, just in a different zip code. And honestly, it's getting hard to tell what he's really trying to be.
1% said absolutely.
I agree with that.
You agree with that,
I agree with it, yeah. I think because they've disobeyed the HRH and they've flaunted that. They're now talking about, I'm Meghan Sussex. Well,
So imagine walking into a big deal Hollywood event thinking you're gonna shine, and instead you find out they dropped your royal title. Ouch, right? And for Harry, who's used to the whole prince thing opening doors, this hit different because suddenly he was just another name on the list. And behind the scenes, folks say it totally messed with his mood. And while the palace stayed quiet, one insider kinda hinted that this was coming all along. You can't keep playing both royal and regular forever. And maybe this was the moment it finally caught up to him.
That they're now talking about, I'm Meghan Sussex. Well, you're slightly, taking the mickey out of the royal family. You want it out. You wanted to be American citizens, where titles don't matter. What is the point of having their children as prince and princess?
So what really hit hard wasn't just losing the title. It was losing that extra power boost that comes with it. Harry's whole new brand in Hollywood still kinda leans on his royal past. And that prince label gives him attention and makes people listen. But take that away and he's just Harry Windsor, a regular producer in a sea of other producers. And that kind of shift stings in a way most people can't even imagine. Because when you've been treated like someone special your whole life, suddenly being just another name really messes with you.
Need the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in front of their name. Harry and Meghan, they know, we know who you're talking about. So no, I think if you're not involved and you're not a working royal and you're not really part of it, then remove the titles. I also
So it kind of feels like ever since Harry lost that royal bubble, he's been trying really hard to control how people see him, but it's not really working. Like he's stormed off sets, snapped at reporters, and keeps going after media platforms that don't agree with his side of the story. And this whole Dorian TV Awards thing just added fuel to the fire, because it wasn't just them skipping his title, it was like the world saying, hey, without that crown, you're just another guy in the room. And that really seemed to mess with him, because deep down it looks like what he's actually scared of is being irrelevant without the royal shine. And yeah, sure, some of his fans said they could have just given him the title out of respect, especially with all the mental health and documentary stuff he's done. But honestly, the bigger picture says otherwise. Like, Hollywood plays by different rules, and you can't keep asking for equal treatment while also holding on to special status. And this moment really showed that tension, like he wants to be seen as normal, but also not treated like everyone else. And that's where everything starts to fall apart.
Princess is, apart from the first section, and that probably wouldn't be a bad way of going forward, really, for the royal family. With George, Charlotte, and Louis, to not keep extending this prince and princess thing and just have.
So the thing is, these kinds of award shows are all about what you've done, not where you come from. And when you're surrounded by filmmakers and producers who built their whole careers with no royal boost, giving someone a special title just because of their birth would have felt totally unfair. And later on, the Dorian Awards team did speak up, saying they only use job titles for everyone to keep things equal and in line with how the industry works. And even though they didn't call out Harry by name, it was pretty clear the message was aimed right at him, like they were saying, look, the Prince label was never even part of the deal.
Royal family, prince and princesses all the way down the line. Yeah, I'd remove the title. They pretty much damned themselves about that. They didn't want to be part of the royal family. They trashed the institution, so why do they need the titles?
We had a new part of the 91% that Rob clearly is.
No, I think we've had enough.
So what really set everything off wasn't some personal attack or political drama. It was just a simple rule that applied to everyone, no matter who they were. And Harry couldn't handle that. Like the Dorian Awards were just following their usual policy. No titles, no special treatment. And yet he took it way deeper. Like his reaction showed he wasn't upset about the name change. He was upset that for once, a whole system didn't bend just because he used to be a prince. And after that, the media went into full frenzy mode with headlines flying everywhere. Some British tabloids threw shade, calling it the princeless premiere, while American outlets took a closer look at how there's this growing gap between how Harry presents himself to the world as this grounded, humble guy, and how he acts behind the curtain where he still seems to expect royal treatment. And honestly, that contrast is getting harder to ignore. Like he keeps saying he wants to move on from crown, but moments like this kind of make it look like he never really let go.
Have already been taken away from him, so his military affiliation.
No, it's not him though, is it? It's
gone.
us. It's us. I'm thinking about like the 91% saying, well, a bit of an, he's taken all his stuff. Yeah, he's lost a lot, and he has. But, that was given to him to serve, not given him for 5 minutes. It was given him for life of service.
I still think if you cut Prince Harry...
So, of course, social media had a field day with all this. Like, people turned it into a whole meme fest, using clips of Harry leaving early and mixing them with old royal footage to show how much things have changed. And yeah, it was funny, but also kind of brutal. But the real damage didn't come from the jokes. It came from inside Hollywood, where people actually started talking like behind the scenes. A few producers and publicists who were at the event said stuff anonymously, and it wasn't cute. One of them said Harry acted like he expected special treatment just for showing up, and another one was like, dude, this night was supposed to be about creativity and content, and he totally made it about himself. And that's the part that really matters, because these aren't just random trolls online, these are people in the industry, and if they're starting to see him as entitled or difficult, then that's gonna follow him way longer than any headline or meme ever will.
And you look at what he does through Invictus, and you see that very clearly. I think what they would argue is the way that they show those elements of service and duty are different now. I just think it's enough. I think enough. And actually,
So the timing of all this couldn't have been worse, because Meghan and Harry are apparently stepping into a tougher stage of their Hollywood journey, like they've got fewer streaming deals now, and the pressure's on to actually deliver fresh original stuff, not just rely on who they used to be. And that's why his reaction at the Dorian Awards hit so wrong. Like, instead of getting attention for a cool project or powerful message, he made headlines for being mad about not getting called Prince. And honestly, that's a big branding flop, especially for someone who's built his image on being open and relatable. while still having that royal edge, and now that balance just kinda snapped, and even people close to him are starting to look a little tired of the drama, like you can only play both sides for so long before the whole thing starts to fall apart.
In anticipation of service, people like the Duke of Kent, who are still turning out now, you know, then he was given that title, and he was done a lifetime of service. They did a lunchtime of service.
Well, very good point. I mean, the late Queen was, she felt very strongly about titles as well. It was something that, you know, she felt.
So behind the scenes, things aren't exactly smooth either. Like someone who used to work at Archwell told a friend that every time there's a public event or something being published, they have to triple check how Harry's name is shown. And it's become this ongoing struggle that honestly wears people out and slows everything down. And what's worse is that even regular folks are starting to notice the cracks. Like people who once cheered him on for leaving the royal family are now wondering if he ever wanted to let go. Because if he did, why is he still fighting so hard to keep the Prince label? And if he truly wants to be taken seriously for his work in film and mental health, maybe it's time to stop holding on to the royal stuff that keeps pulling him back.
As well, it was something that, you know, she felt was important, that the people respected their titles, used their titles correctly, and I do wonder, you know, what if she was 30 years younger, what kind of view that she might have taken on it. But
legally, have they done anything yet where they heard?
So like the real question now is, why does Harry keep messing up his own chances by turning everything into a status thing? Because the truth is, the Dorian Awards didn't embarrass him. He kinda did that to himself. Like the show went on, the winners got their shine, and the media moved on. But for Harry, this wasn't just one rough night. It felt more like a shift, like the moment where holding on to that Prince title stopped working. Not because the palace took it away or the public turned on him, but because Hollywood just doesn't care anymore about who you were. It only cares about what you're doing now. And if you're not creating something real and fresh, then no amount of royal history is going to save you.
Cards, I think we're talking about this new PR team.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you know, them coming over to London and Harry wanting to come back to the UK. It's important what the public think. It's important what we write, because it does change what they do.
So under those bright lights with all the Hollywood buzz going on, Harry wasn't a prince and he wasn't the star of the night either. He was just Harry. And for once that just didn't cut it. And by the next morning, the whole event wasn't about his work or his message. It was all about how he reacted, like people in Hollywood and royal watchers everywhere were talking not about his mental health project or his streaming content, but about how he made it all about a missing title. And the big question wasn't why they dropped the Prince label. It was why he flipped out over it so much when he's the one who said he left Crown behind in the first place. So if you're into all this drama tea and behind the scenes chaos, you gotta stick around, because Bella Breaks Down is where we unpack all the messy moments no one else is talking about. So hit that subscribe button. Don't be shy.